I'm Devon Woods, and I had about 3 videos go viral. That made it into 6 digits. Huh? I don't know what that was about. But, I haven't made it into 6 digits, and my question is, I had a video go on Reddit. I didn't even know what Reddit was at the time. As a matter of fact, I put my video on there because I didn't have a hard drive on YouTube. Somehow people started watching it, and then it started motivating people. So what is it with Reddit? What's the situation?
I have often wondered, what is it with Reddit?
Reddit is awesome. It's Alexis was a founder. He's actually a good friend, and we use Reddit as one of our publishing platforms. So sometimes when we want to reach a certain demographic and our advertisers want to reach that audience, we sometimes use Reddit as a source of great engagement and distribution. Reddit is just a community of people. They either like to troll, or they like motivating stuff, or they like to, I don't know if you remember the Boston bombing, but they were the first ones to come up with different theories, try to identify the kind of the bombers. But in reality,
the theories were incorrect.
But what I'm trying to say is Reddit is a very passionate community of people who are usually activists in a sense, but there are a lot of different communities on the internet around different interests like that. Reddit is more general because they have a lot of different topics, but it's a very passionate community of people who are content creators, and most of the time they're very big activists. It's kind of, I guess, a later form of Dig now, and there are other communities out there on the web that are similar, but Reddit, I guess, is one of the more general. I don't know if you guys have more.
Did you post your video to one of the subreddits or at a top level?
No, I just got a call one day doing the videos on Reddit on the front page, and I was like, oh, that's good.
So is it important to identify the subreddit where your community would be gathered?
Yeah, I mean, if you made an awesome video, right? If you have a very motivating video or something that's interesting to that audience over at Reddit, it could be something completely stupid, or it could be something maybe in your case, something that's very motivating, or, I mean, it really depends, right? Or it's something controversial, and it's just the community found it extremely interesting, and because Reddit is kind of, it's a fairly large site, right? I think it's 200, Alexa 200 right now, so it means that it's 200th largest site in the world. And so just because you end up on the front page, you're going to get about, I think it's you get 100,000 people to see your video right away. So it has a huge effect. And Carmen, do you guys know the artist Carmen? She used to sing the hip hop song. It was you guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah. All right. Cool. So she's now signed by, I think, Warner Music Group. She was discovered through Reddit. So she's this girl, and she sings these rap songs, and she's really, really good at it. And she became a YouTube celebrity, and she became a YouTube celebrity as a result of becoming extremely viral on Reddit, because the Reddit users loved her. So besides just getting her on the front page, they would also tweet about her, share her, and a lot of them are influencers. A lot of them do have big followings, and also a lot of people who work in other media, whether it's CNN, whether it's some other blogs, smaller blogs. They kind of tend to use Reddit as well, so they would see that and they would also post it and kind of talk about it if they found it interesting. So it's a good place to get exposed, but it's think of it as American Idol or any other kind of platform. But in this case, it's just a very fast internet site where if you end up on the front page, you're gonna get 50 to 100,000 views right away, and sometimes they're more engaging than others, but it's a very passionate community.
Congratulations on your success. Keep making content and try and continue to build that audience and have people come back multiple times. And if you're able to do that, then you should call it Bing in about a year and become a YouTube partner. So,
actually, you can start monetizing right now.
I did.
What's your channel name?
Huh?
What's your channel name?
Devon Williams. The number is 712. Devon Williams 712. All right, thank you.
Great. Next question.
Hi everybody, thanks for showing up and good stuff. Coming from the advertising department here. Big question, what do you think the big difference between home movies and YouTube is? And also Big, I remember you from last time you were also. Yeah.
What do you mean by home movies exactly?
America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah, remember the 90s before YouTube?
No.
Well, a big part of YouTube still is kind of the digital version of America's Funniest Home Videos. I mean, that is literally what Charlie Bit My Finger was. And YouTube facilitated it, made it much bigger than it would have been in America's Funniest Home Videos. But like I was saying earlier, YouTube is changing, and the ecosystem is changing to much more intentional and oftentimes professionally created content.
And the goal from our end is of course to make YouTube a place for everyone, right? So if you want to share those videos, whether it's privately or publicly, and it just, you want it to be comprised of your child, it should absolutely be a place for you. But Zach is saying, if you want to create really high production value content, like what Portal A does, or if you're an advertiser and want to get to your fans, this should absolutely be a place for you.
Thank you.
Question is for David and Vic. I'm a software engineer, and I go to a lot of events and conferences, and I've seen you a lot, David. I want to basically upload videos about events I'm going to, or new technologies, Google launching something like Google Glass, and what can developers do, things like those. So I was kind of debating, like, should I start a blog or should I start a YouTube channel and talk about it? So how do I, because I want to make it easy on me because I'm already busy, so I don't want to spend too much time. Blog takes a lot of time writing stuff down, and I'm not a writer. YouTube seems easy because I can just talk, shoot when I go to events. What's your take on it? And how long should it be? Because I heard really small, like length, but this would be like more of a vlog, but tech focused.
Well, so first of all, as someone who's been in production a long time, and all of you learning how to produce, something that you can probably all resonate with is the very first video you produced took way too long because you were making a lot of mistakes and you screwed up, and that's the first thing. So except when you start out, you're going to spend way too much time because it's going to be a major learning curve for you, and just accept that. That's what's just going to happen at the beginning. You're going to learn the tricks of the trade of how to be faster, and I'm going to toot my horn for a second. Subscribe to my podcast called Hacking Media Production, where we talk about different aspects of how to speed up your production process. Sparkminute.com, on my blog, you can find it. But the answer of YouTube channel or blog, do both. In fact, 2 episodes ago, I interviewed a guy whose his full-time job is teaching people how to get more subscribers on YouTube, and we talked about a bunch of little specific technical tricks. But your question specifically of going to conferences and trade shows, the reason we do so much work at conferences and trade shows is the information is physically within arm's reach. That's one of the big problems with production, is getting access to your content, whatever it may be. For my clients, it's access to the smart people or access to the technologies that we're covering. And if we just place ourselves physically in a show where all those smart people and technologies are, then that just speeds up production, that alone. So that's why we go to trade shows and conferences.
So do you do live streaming too, or?
We have done it. It all depends on what the client wants. I would just say to you, the big trick, if you want to become successful at it, is you got to determine what is your voice. What do I want to own in the industry? Just ask you, what's your specialty? What do you want to own? What do you want to be known for?
Mobile guy, so I make mobile apps, and I
Mobile?
cover mobile meetups, and I want to talk about it.
Mobile technology, then that's great, that's awesome. Then that'll be your brand. I'm going to be, if you want to know all about mobile apps, all about mobile technology. I had a friend, when the iPhone came out, just started an iPhone podcast. It was more popular than anything he had done before. So that is, anything mobile is hot. So if you just cover mobile apps, put lots of videos, and then learn how to produce these things quickly. I'm actually going to do an interview with the guys from Uber Gizmo, if you know that site. And they, at CES, they produce 100, I think it's 100 videos a day or 100 over the course of the CES. It's an insane volume, but they've got this crazy fast production process. So do you want to create high volume content, or do you want low volume content that's really high quality, or a mixture? And we actually end up doing a mixture of the two.
David, you also asked about length, and this
Oh,
is something
length,
I'm asked
right.
about in podcasting a lot, and I hear people say under 10 minutes, and yet Leo Laporte's out there doing a 2-hour show.
Yeah, it's,
phenomenally
you know what?
popular.
It's so funny you mentioned that. I actually had to clear something with a client. I interviewed a guy who was so fascinating for 10 minutes straight. Like usually my interviews are like 2 to 3 minutes long. And I'll tell someone, let's do 2 to 3 minutes. And I said to a client, I could cut this down to 3 minutes, but he was so awesome for 10 minutes, I want to just keep the whole thing. And she said, yeah, sure, okay, put it all up. So it all depends. If someone just goes on and is great and you're fascinated by it for 10 minutes, that's what I always say. If you're engaged with it and you're an audience for your own content, then your audience is going to be engaged as well.
Okay. Final question for Bing. How do I get into the partner program and start making money?
That is the one question I was waiting for. Thank you for asking. Now I can get paid. So just so we're on the same page, the YouTube Partner Program is an opportunity from YouTube. It's in over 20 different countries. It effectively gives you 3 things. One is it enables you to monetize your content, not only through ads, but also through things like merchandise and so forth. Secondly, you become eligible for certain promotional opportunities, whether it's editorially promoting you on our platform or actually promoting you through press and other sites. And then the final thing that we help out with is content production improvement. So we have everything from training materials. Our shameless plug is youtube.com/playbook is our contribution to sort of the new media high quality production space, to actual physical spaces that we've launched in 3 different countries. So in terms of how to become part of this program, in good Google spirit, we want it to be available to everybody. So literally all you have to do is, 1, make sure you're creating original content, right? Make sure it's yours. And then secondly is to opt into monetization within your account. This is all very simple, by the way. Right when you monetize, you'll see this stuff. And then third is to start building an audience. So effectively, there is no application. We don't believe in those things. We think that this should be an open door, open playing field for everybody. And yeah, welcome to the family, I suppose.
Can I get your email?
Yeah, because actually the easiest, I'm embarrassed to say this, I might get in trouble for saying this, the easiest way to get at me is actually to tweet me, so it's just Bing Chen. No, I'm serious actually, you can ask Zach, who emails me often. It's easier to get at me through Twitter, so if you want to try that, then we can exchange.
Okay.
My name's Evan Pleger, and I have more of a, I would like to ask for a confirmation more so than pose you a question. David, you mentioned video titles and how that can really affect it, and then Bing, if you could also throw in what titles can do. In my experience, what I've seen successful on stuff that I've produced is that you include the name of what you want that video to be, and then in addition, people will put like a space or a slash and then a short descriptive, all within the frame of the title, so that when you so when I started the Academy, I started as a music major. I have since changed focuses, changed channels, but my first YouTube channel was hopefully a place to just, I throw up a random picture and then put music that I had produced. And I called it Phantom Dub the Opera. It was it was Phantom of the Opera with elements of dubstep that I was experimenting with at the time. And so by providing the title of the piece and then a description of what it is that happened to be a trending topic at the time, as of right now it has 20,278 views. So would you either confirm or deny for me, does adding a descriptor in the title help shareability and promotion and that sort of thing?
So there's actually a few things that are going on. So yes on all counts, but there's also other things you can do. So it's like not necessarily that's the only way to do it. So yes, putting keywords in the title because that's what people's going to type in is going to help, and super popular keywords. Like if you guys familiar with Pomplamoose?
Yes.
So the reason they're so successful is they do covers of really popular songs by Beyonce, and people type in Beyonce in search in YouTube search engine.
Oh, yeah.
So their results come up with
I've learned how to meta tag my data very consistently.
So, but yeah, so it's like that. But there's also the weird combination of keywords that get people excited. So I have one video that's got, and again, this has nothing to do with my business, but I just happened to stumble upon it. A punk accordionist was playing in San Francisco, and there were 2 nuns clapping along. So it's titled Punk Accordionist and a Couple of Nuns. That's just the title of the video. Well, that's kind of strange, right? And as a result, and by the way, the video delivers, that's what's in it. And so that weird combination got people excited. The other thing is to challenge people's common thoughts on what something is. So, for example, this is not a video, but this is literally my most recent article that I just put up. It says 20 pieces of business advice you should ignore, which is the opposite of what things are at. So you could say, literally you could put up a video and say, don't watch this or something, or like, you know, the Abby Hoffman steal this book out of you. So there's a lot of sort of tricks and games, but yes, playing with titles, having keywords, or just surprising people is helpful. Ben?
Yeah, no, I fully agree. The only two things I would add are, and I hate what I'm about to say because it's going to sound it depends, as with everything, right?
By the way, I hate it and I don't even know.
You sound like my mother. No, I'm just kidding. She knows I misbehave. No, I mean, truly it depends, right? And so, it's great that you're already invoking metadata within, or specifically keywords, not metadata, keywords within your title. That's important. The two most important things for a successful title on YouTube are specificity and brevity, in that order, right? And so in terms of like having elongated description in the title, probably not a wise thing to do. That being said, you still want to be specific and descriptive. The other important thing I'd encourage is, of course, to use analytics. As a plug to our analytics team, our analytics are very robust on YouTube. And I would look very directly at my traffic sources, right? If you find that the majority of your traffic is actually coming from YouTube, then that actually means your title is kind of important, but your thumbnail is even more important, right? And so I would really look at that. The other thing to remember is, let's say that search engine traffic is actually your #1 driver to your videos, right? In that case, not only are your keywords critical, not only is your title critical, but your description in your video is especially critical. And the reason why is because those first 2 lines in the video description show up in the search results. And people actually do read those. I'm sure all of you can attest to that.